Okay, so I do expect that this shows you from strategic perspective how we deliver that into our action in marketing. Okay, right. So we discussed that already. Okay, we discussed that positioning is the premise. Okay, actually positioning is the premise that we want to deliver for the customers, as well as what we do not want to deliver, and and everything else that we do not want to deliver and we don't deliver. Okay, so in other words, positioning is a trade-off. Positioning is a trade-off for us to decide, as well as for the customers to decide. Okay, so when you say, for instance, my positioning is premium, okay, so you actually need to deliver premium things for the customers. Everything premium, the quality of the product, the brand, the packaging, the service should be premium as well. Okay, it's top level that you offer. Okay, so that's your promise. When you say it's premium, that is your promise. You got to deliver that, right? In other words, you actually tell the customers, we are not cheap. Okay, so that is the trade-off that the customers need to make as well. Therefore, it is a strategic decision that the company is making, and it is also the decision that the customers are making. Okay, now as mentioned before, we actually tried to discuss about the link between positioning and marketing mix variables, and starting from this week, we are going to discuss marketing mix variables. Okay. Right, let's say if we talk about Aldi. Okay, I posted a link to Aldi. There are 4 video clips that I post in the discussion forum. Okay, so what do you know about Aldi? What kind of brand Aldi is? Hello? You've been to Aldi, right?
Yep, sorry, my thing wasn't working. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, it's a German brand. Fair enough. What else do you know about Aldi?
They're a lot more competitive than Woolworths and Coles. So coming into Australia, they were able to give better products at a lower price.
Right. Fair enough. Okay, low price. Okay. Low price. Okay. If you look at one of the links I post in the discussion forum, shows you that they try to tell the customers that their price is cheaper than the national brands that are normally offered at Woolies and Coles, but they offer similar things. Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in other words, they're offering something cheaper, okay, than the national brands, right? Whilst if you buy a loaf of toast, raisin toast, with national brand, you need to spend around $5, but with Aldi, you spend $2. So that's kind of example. Okay. In the case of wrap, aluminum wrap, national brands will charge you more than $6. With Aldi, you just need to spend around $2. Okay. Right. So that's the type of brand that we know about Aldi. Okay. Who do you think the target market is?
Middle class. Lower to middle class.
Right, fair enough. Yes, that's one, Tracy. Right, those with families. Okay, fair enough. Target market, moms and dads. Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I've never thought that far that way actually, but yeah, that's interesting. Thank you. Okay, look, if we think about the target market, okay, yes, they're cheap. Okay, why do people come to Aldi? Think about why do people come to Aldi? Right? What is Aldi promise? What does Aldi promise to the customers? Absolutely, affordability. That's correct. Affordability. Okay, so that's what they promise for the customers. All right. So what kind of people buying these? Okay, what kind of people buying Aldi? Well, look, they promise something affordable. That's basically about budget-oriented customers or budget-conscious customers. Okay, look, when we say budget conscious, it's not necessarily those from the certain socioeconomic class. Remember, we discussed about the segmentation variables. Now, one of the things is this is actually the reason why I recommend you to use 4 segmentation variables, because if you only use one, it is not enough or 2 or 3. It is not enough for you to describe your customers. If you look at demographic, for instance, yep, they are the low socioeconomic class. Well, not necessarily. Okay, medium middle class people also go there, right? But they say, look, it's not because I don't have the money. It's just because I think it is not smart to spend that much. Okay, therefore, yes. Okay, fair enough, Tracy. Thanks a lot. Okay, centering people. Okay, fair enough. I like that. Okay, so let's say budget conscious people. Okay, in a nutshell. Okay, but in your analysis, please use 4 segmentation variables. All right. What's the positioning? Which is the premise. Okay, what the premise is basically about affordability. Okay, how do we write them? Well, to the budget conscious people, okay, or the budget conscious group, okay, Aldi is affordable. Okay, Aldi is affordable. Okay, so that's roughly the possible positioning statement for this brand. Okay, now how do they deliver that? Look, remember, positioning is in the consumer's mind. This is a promise. Okay, we have to deliver that. Okay, how do we deliver that? That is through our marketing mix variables: the product, price, placement, and also promotion. Okay, so if you look at their product, okay, Aldi does not offer you with plastic bag, for instance. Why is that? Because they have to maintain being budget, being affordable. Okay, their product range is not a lot. If you compare to Woolies and Coles, they have less number of items. Okay, they only focus on on certain items. Okay, so that helps them managing the costs. Okay, remember the positioning in here. You should be able to deliver that through product, price, promotion. Otherwise, it doesn't fly. You can't convince the customers. All right. So from product decision perspective, okay, they manage low range. Okay, if you look at the last advertising campaign that they do, they show we have limited range, so you don't need to spend ages to find your popular item. Okay, they don't offer plastic bag, for instance. Okay, now from price perspective, they're affordable. Placement perspective, the size of the store is not as large as Woolies and Coles. Okay, so what's that? Yeah, provide essentials. Yeah, exactly. Right. So they do that. Right? They do that. Right. Why do they do that? Because they need to maintain their promise being budget. Okay. So from placement perspective, actually, the store is smaller than Woolies and Coles. Okay. Now, what about promotion? Well, they focus on budget. Okay, so of course, these marketing mix variables, we need to detail it in our assessments in terms of using the key concepts that we are going to discuss until the end of the course, right? So hopefully that gives you some ideas in terms of linking the strategy and also the marketing mix variables, starting from target market, positioning, and marketing mix variables. Yeah. Okay, now the next thing I'd like to discuss is the branding. Okay, so briefly, there are a few things in here about branding. This is what we mean by branding. Okay, and I'm going to skip that. Now, branding actually includes these 4 elements: brand awareness, perceived quality, brand associations, and brand loyalty. Okay, brand awareness is actually the level of awareness of the customers on our brand. Okay, brand equity, brand quality, perceived brand quality is how the customers perceive the quality level that we offer. Brand association is actually about the image or word that the customers have about our brand. Okay, remember some brands like Coke, for instance, may be perceived as summer fun. Okay, if that is in line with their if that's in line with their plan, that they have met the brand association. And brand loyalty actually reflects whether the customers will keep buying your brand or not. Okay. Right. So that's the brand equity. Okay. Now this is the top 10 global brands 2016. I believe some of you may attended the orientation day in week 1, and this is actually what I referred to at that time. Top 10 global brand based on Interbrand. Okay. So if you look at that, Apple, Google and Coke is still the top 3 actually, okay, in terms of brand value. Okay, now in terms of brand, we have what we call as manufacturer brand and house brand. Okay, manufacturer brand is basically what we call as national brand. Okay, and house brand is the private label like Woolies, Select, and Home brand or Coles brand. Okay, and Aldi also has a lot of house brands as well. Okay, I'm going to skip that. Okay, and in terms of branding policies or branding strategies, companies consider individual branding or family branding. Individual branding means they have different brand for different products, okay? Like Unilever, for instance, they have Dove, Rexona, and those are Pond's. And family branding, they use one brand for all products that they carry. And in between, we have mix between individual and family. If you look at Campbell Arnott's, for instance, they have Arnott's Sweet, Arnott's whatever, and they also have individual branding such as Arnott's Tim Tam, for instance. Okay. And we also know brand extensions, which is basically about extending the brand to several different product categories, such as Virgin brand in airline industry, mobile industry, and financial sector industry. Okay. Now this one here is the line extension, like Pepsi Max, Pepsi Next, okay? They are line extension. Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, they are line extension, okay? Which is also part of the brand strategy, okay? Co-branding is actually about joining two strong brands in the market, right? They're quite strong in the market, and they join forces to become one brand for one offering, okay? If you look at Oreo and McDonald's, for instance, they offer Oreo ice cream with Oreo at McDonald's. Right? All right, I'm going to skip that. Now, this is the extra thing for your consideration in terms of brand development strategy. We have 4 ways to develop the brand: line extension, brand extensions, multi-brands, and new brands. Line extensions actually using the current brand name for a new variety in the same product category. Okay. If you look at Tim Tam, for instance, when they launched new variety, okay, they use the same brand name, Tim Tam, whatever, Love Potion number 9, Tim Tam Original, and so on and so forth. Brand extension is basically using the same brand name for modified product in a new product category. Okay, so that's the Virgin brand as an example. Multi-brands, they use different brand name in the same product category. So in the same product category, they have several brands, like P&G with in shampoo category, for instance, they have Pantene and they have Head and Shoulder. BMW in car industry, they have a Mini Cooper and BMW. Okay? VW in car industry, they have VW, Skoda, and also Audi, for instance. They have 3 brands. Okay, and new brands. So new brands basically is about using a new brand name in the new product category. So when they launch new product category, they're going to use new brand name. Okay. Right, so that's basically branding. And the next thing I'd like to discuss is actually about the product decision. Now let me just hang on a second. Let me just share with you product decision. Oops. Okay, just briefly about product decision. Can you see my slides?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. All right. Now, look, I'm not going to discuss everything here. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to discuss everything in here, right? Just the main one, okay? The first thing that I'd like to discuss in terms of product is the 3 levels of product. It consists of core product, supplemental features, and also symbolic and experiential benefits. Okay, some other people suggest that these guys are the augmented products. Okay, so if you use either you use this concept, or you can also use another concept, core product or core customer value. Core customer value. Okay. The second one is actual product or supplemental features. Okay, and the last one is augmented product. Other one that you use are basically same. Now, core product reflects the reasons why customers buy the product. Okay, so if you buy a car, it's not because you want to get a key, or it's, you know, you have something, you have the reasons you buy the car, okay, to move you from A to B. Okay, now actual product includes the brand name, okay, include the brand name, features, okay, packaging, design, and quality level. Okay, and augmented product actually reflects the extra benefits, additional benefits, okay, to enhance the customers using your product. Okay, that includes the information that you provide, post-sales service, okay, customer support, okay, and also the warranty, for instance. Okay, so for your product, think about that, right? Think about the reasons customers buy your product. Okay, think about the brand name, the features, packaging, okay, to help you detailing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Brilliant. Okay, now the next one is classifying product. Okay, we have two broad categories, consumer and business. Look, I'll leave it to you, but my recommendation is to focus on consumer product because it is more manageable. Okay, now consumer product has 4 categories: convenience, shopping, specialty, and unsold product. Okay, convenience product are basically not expensive. It is normal from consumer behavior perspective. It is used and purchased on a regular basis. Okay, therefore the volume in this industry is quite large. As a result, the price is not that expensive. The distribution would be wide. Okay, if you look at the from placement perspective, how you link that product category to the placement decision, the distribution is quite wide. Okay, the distribution is quite wide. Okay, so in some instances, soft drink industry, for instance, they may be in a non-traditional kiosk such as vending machine. Okay, the next one is shopping product. Okay, so shopping product is basically requires customers to have a bit of planning to buy. Okay, and they don't buy that product, as often as convenience products. Therefore, from distribution perspective, it is actually selective distribution. All right. Think about a fashion apparel. Think about mobile phone. You do not buy that every week. You do not buy that every month. Probably for mobile phone once in a year or once in 2 years. Okay. And the next one is specialty product, which is basically quite a premium. Okay, so there are strong connection between the brand and the customers, right? If you look at brands like Louis Vuitton and Hermes, for instance, they may have different loyal lists. Okay, and the promotion in here is actually more into customized promotion, targeted promotional strategies. Okay? And last one is unsold product. Okay, so if you look at this product category, customers have little awareness. If they are aware, and they may want to avoid it if they can. Okay, for instance, insurance, for instance, as an example, or any other charity organizations, basically. Okay, so that is to give you some overview about the product categories. Okay, which is also part of your assessment. Okay, from product perspective, there are 3 things that you need to decide: the classification, the 3 levels of product. Okay, and last one is actually your this is a classification from business product perspective. And last decision that you need to show is actually about the product mix, width and depth of the product. Okay, a product width of the product mix actually is determined by the number of product lines in the company. Okay, and depth of product is basically about the average number of the different product in each product line. Okay, so if you look at that, this is let's say if a company offers laundry detergent, toothpaste, bar soap, deodorant, shampoo, tissue, fragrances, and so on and so forth, that reflects the product width. Right, number of product lines. Okay, the depth is actually the varieties that each category, each product line has. Okay, if you look at the laundry detergent here, they have draft, whatever, Tide, Cheer, and so on and so forth. Okay, in the case of Procter & Gamble. Okay, and you can also add with the food category. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea in terms of product width and depth. Okay, right. Any questions?
Nope. All good.
Nope. All good. Should you have any questions, why don't we discuss briefly about the assessments? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, and what I'll do is I will bring up the assessments. Okay, and oops, sorry. Okay, so this is the assessment. Okay, I'll just bring that up. Okay, this is the assessment. All right, situation analysis. I believe we've discussed that. That one is related to your assessment one, posting one and two. Okay, and comparative analysis. It's also related to the situation analysis that we discussed. Consumer behavior. That's one that we discussed last week in the previous module. Please have a look at it. Okay, now target market. So you need to make decision about the segmentation and targeting, as well as positioning and key brand strategies. Okay, so the outcome of this is basically the target market that you analyze. Okay, who is your target market using the 4 segmentation variables? Please do not discount. Right, positioning. Please outline a positioning. Please draw a positioning map and also outline a positioning statement. And the key brand strategies, you can include the brand strategy development, family branding, or individual branding, or mix of them. Okay? And tonight we also discussed the product strategy, okay, which is basically about the, please discuss the classification, the 3 levels of product, and product width, line, and depth. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, all good.
All good.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Look, if you don't have any questions, okay, and look, I'm going to stop here because I don't want to bombard you with, with information. But I do suggest that you plan working towards the assessment 3 and also prepare assessment 2. Okay, any questions, you can send me an email. Now, next week is special. Okay, this week is the final week before you go on holiday. Okay. Where will I be? Well, I'll be working with Santa and Rudolph during the break. Okay. Will I be able to answer your emails? Yes, I try to, but you may expect a bit of delay than usual. Normally, I can respond to you very quickly. Please expect a bit of delay. Okay, and I try to not to delay. Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Have a happy holiday, everybody.
You too. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.